Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We've bellied up to the bar here. It is the first day in April, April Fool's Day. The fool that I am, it is also my anniversary. So happy anniversary to my wife. 9 years today. We've been married and we were figuring it out earlier, coming up on 15 years together. So happy anniversary to the one woman other than my mother that has put up with me for this long. So that is greatly appreciated. I love you, Facebook. Sometimes I can share the show and it's no problem, no bubbles, no troubles. And then the next moment I go to share this around with people and it's an absolute waste of my time, but is what it is. We'll figure it out here in a moment. But joining us all the way from and I didn't realize that you could actually have a left coast of Canada, but I guess there's a Canadian left coast. And when I asked what state they were in, they said they weren't, and they were in a province, which I thought was kind of funny to me. And I was like, oh, we'll go with that. But joining us to talk about at least one toy that we all have owned at some point. I don't know anyone who didn't own these toys or didn't have some purpose for them. Even if you're like me and got started with the McDonald's sets back in the 80s, that's what got me into it. So joining us all the way from British Columbia, it is Miss, and her name just absolutely, folks. If this doesn't sound like an 80s sitcom, I don't know who does. It is, and I just want to keep calling her Just Jenn, but it's Jenn Just.
You got the joke. See, I just want to be known as Just Jenn. I'm Just Jenn.
I love it because I really did when your booker contacted me, and I was like, what? And I was like, is this an 80s? Like, it really sounds like really like, hey, and here she is, Just Jenn. Like,
yes,
well. Like you need a whole 80s sitcom thing going on. So we're going to be talking about how you take a niche idea and work it into something more global, talking a little bit about Legos and what she's done with them. But before we get too far, as always, folks, we got the big board over my right shoulder for Sticker and a Cause. You got something you believe in, something you're supporting, something you want other people to know about. You can reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, X, our Facebook, our TikTok, our Facebook, our website is theabovethebarpodcast.com. Our email is theabovethebarpodcast@gmail.com. You let me know what you got going on. I'll throw the sticker up here. We talked last week, got the sticker up here for the awesome card shop out of Las Vegas. So if you're into trading cards, they're a great spot. Make sure you're reaching out to those guys. Let's talk about the people. Hey, all 17 of you that just joined us, probably YouTube just dropped us in there. Make sure you give us a like, share, follow, see what Jen's got going on. If you want to check out what she's got going on real quick, you can check out thebrickchick.com. But talk about the people who pay the bills around here. That's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Cooksaki, Schoharie, Delmar, and Clifton Park. North America's #1 custom window treatment company. If you're looking for blind, shade, shutter, they're in Canada too. Jenn, they're in Canada.
Ooh, I could use a blind.
Listen, that's an American thing in Canada. You can have that since you couldn't have our sugary cereals.
Right.
I'm sorry. Even your edibles. Y'all even made edibles unfun. You know that, right?
What? Oh, just
you guys did
edibles.
like the government's like, you can barely get an edible. Somebody might enjoy these. We don't want them to look like something a kid would want. Oh. Only in Canada, but make sure you're reaching out to your local Budget Blinds. Let them know what you're looking for. The local ones here, Hudson, Cooksaki, and all those during the month of April. Gosh, I forgot it's April already. During the month of April, it's 25% off of all drapery and Roman shades. So 25% off of drapery and Roman shades. So reach out to Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Cooksaki, Schoharie, Delmar, Clifton Park. Let them know what you got going on, and they'll be sure to take care of you. And as always, folks, if you let them know you're there to belly up to the bar, that's an extra 5% off your entire order. All right, Miss Jenn.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Stupendous as always. What's the beverage of choice tonight?
Oh, I'm just weak iced tea. I don't drink alcohol anymore, so I'm kind of boring that way. So you
I don't
drink it
drink.
for me, okay, Sean?
I don't drink any less, so we'll keep it going. So let me get back to my notes here real quick because I told you I had them, and it was funny. So we were talking about this before. This is Jenn's first video podcast. She's never done a video podcast,
Nope,
and she
never.
goes, I didn't even prepare for it, which is
Nope.
good. I don't prepare for any of my shows.
Yeah,
This is
good.
really a thing, and I've talked about this on the air. I've had people reach out to me like, so here's a list of questions that Mr. Jones would like you to ask him, and I'm like, that's nice. I'm not going to do that. And they're like, what? Well, what's the topic of the show going to really be about? I'm like, whatever I feel like at the moment. We'll start off with a question, and then we'll kind of just see where it takes us. And
Exactly.
some of these handlers are like, we don't really appreciate that. We really want. I'm like, welcome to my world.
Yeah, let's just have a conversation. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fun. Look
So
at my hair. I want to have fun. Okay, come on.
listen, well, that's because you're so close to Seattle. That's what that is. That's just the fog of Seattle scooting its way across the border into Canada. That's all that is. So let's see. You're the creative force behind Brick Chick. So what exactly is Brick Chick?
I create custom Lego that Lego will probably never make for us, like my own cannabis line and a lot of alcohol. And I have my own edibles, but I'm not sure they'll get you high. They might chip your tooth. But yeah, not so much for getting high. But your minifigures could have a really good time, I'm sure, with those. So I try to provide bits and bobs that make building more fun. Lego pretty much focuses on kits and things that you buy with their instructions. But there's a large portion of people on this earth that just want to build what they want to build, and they want to have the cute things that go along with them. So
Okay.
that's
I'm digging that. Now, what was it that got you into? Because like I was watching a video today. It was the first time I seen this. A guy has a room with that he built over 1 million Legos,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
even built full on Lego suits that you can get into.
Yep, yeah. I've made a wearable bikini once upon a time.
Dang.
I did not like wearing it. It was not comfortable. I've got to tell you.
Look, the sharp edges just you weren't feeling.
And a
Like,
lot of gaps in the wrong places. So yeah, not so good.
oh.
I was a
so,
lot younger then.
so it was like an S&M bikini with Legos.
No, it was just a black, sexy bikini. I don't know, bikini. But I wanted to. I got kind of shamed by some people in the adult fan community for not being a builder because I came to the hobby as an entrepreneur, and that's sort of like dirty in their minds. A lot of
Wait,
them.
hold on.
You don't build, then you're not a real fan. So I got shamed by a woman, no less, and so I had to build some things. So I built like 3 things, and one of them was a bikini, and then they got off my back, and yeah, that was the end of that.
So those are also the same exact people that wait for like the Master Builder Day at Legoland. So as adults can't go into Legoland, right?
I know,
Which
yeah,
I think is absolutely wonderful. Taking my kids there and being
yeah.
like, "You mean I don't have like the Disney lunatics running around?" Like,
Now, come on, some of us lunatics are pretty damn fun, but I get what you're saying, and I do think it's an interesting policy. So yeah.
look, it's a little bit of lunacy when you see like grown people aggressively at Disney, and
Mhm.
you do understand that this is like a magical land for my 7-year-old.
My kids called me the park Nazi. I really got into Disney, but I'm kind of grossed out by it now, so I don't know how to respond. It was like a then and now situation, and now I'm like, wow, did I really do that? So yeah, yeah.
Now, what makes you the park Nazi? I'm so
I
curious
had
now.
every minute scheduled, like everything, all the fast passes. I did not want my kids to be frustrated in line. The whole family was neurodiverse. So, I had to sort of make sure that everybody had a snack all the time. And it's a mom thing, but it was to make the park more enjoyable for my family. It didn't make it terribly enjoyable for me, I'll tell you. But they
Listen,
had
I love everything you're saying right now. Every bit of that, because I'm sitting here thinking like how much of a pain in the butt it has been for me when we've gone to these places and we're trying to do all those kind of things, and it's like this absolutely sucks.
yeah,
I'm not standing in this line for an hour and a half
It would take me
for
months to plan a trip to Disney, and my kids were damn spoiled, but they don't see it that way.
no.
But no, I tried to make it the least painful process as possible, and they didn't have to think; they just did what mom said, and it was fun.
Now I want you to go back to something you said there. So you didn't enter the Lego world like I'm not seeing in your background the Star Destroyer, and I'm not seeing like big massive things of it. So when you say you entered it from an entrepreneurial standpoint, what was it that you were like, "Hey, I noticed this is missing. I can fill this void."
Well, I kind of fell into it differently. I never had Lego as a kid. My mother still thinks it's a stupid toy. I have been running it as a business for 27 years. So, yeah, I don't get much respect in that end of things. But I fell into it because they got the Star Wars license in 1999, and I liked Star Wars.
Fair enough.
So I felt like my 2-year-old daughter really needed some Lego at that point in time. So I bought her a set or two, a 7143 TIE fighter, for instance. And, that's sort of where the interest lay. But my husband at the time immediately put the kibosh on that. You're not allowed to buy that. Forget it. But
Really?
at the
Why?
same time, yeah, well, he was a little bit controlling, and he's no longer in my life. But
Is that Steve?
no, that's the new one. Oh, you knew about that, did you?
I saw one of your videos where you were like, somebody wanted my toxic ex, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
this
that
is gonna
guy,
be.
that guy was my boss at Lego, so it was a very toxic situation.
Oh,
But
you worked for Lego?
for him, yeah, Lego tried to hire me multiple times. Remember that thing I said where I had to build something to get people off my back? The
Right.
first thing I ever built got the attention of the owner of the company, and that opened doors for me. That, well,
So was that the bikini?
No, that was the second thing I did. And then when
So
he
what was
saw
the first one?
it was like a light up model with fish and coral and stuff. It fell off a shelf, so it's in a bunch of pieces now. But yeah, I had to build something, or people were just not going to respect me. I thought it would get me some
Okay.
respect. I think it kind of backfired. But yeah, so that's how that happened. So when the owner kind of liked what I did, and they were really desperate for women with personalities back then, I think, because it was before the Friends and the Clickets and all the rest of it. So they were really looking to expand into, half the population with boobs. And so I said it. You told me that I didn't.
Listen, I like boobs. I'm not going to argue with you. I think they're
I
cool.
like boobs too. I'm heterosexual, but boobs are cool. Let's face it.
They're
So
just cool.
minifigures need more boobs, but in any case, they're kind of flat chested. But anyway, no, that's how that started. So to go back to what you said, well, how I came as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
you just skipped a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm squirrely.
No, you're in good company. I'm neurodiverse, so everything's side quests. So when I found Lego for the first time with the Star Wars license at a similar time frame, I was wanting to stay home to raise my children, which I thought was a reasonable ask in my family. And that was only available to me as an option if I also had a job at home. So I realized that I could buy Lego from a store in Canada and sell it to you Americans for a lot of money. And I didn't have to be on sale. There's a thing called supply and demand, and we have lots of supply, and you guys are really demanding. No offense.
All true. All
Yeah.
true.
So that first year, I was buying a pallet load of Harry Potter castles from Costco and going to a bike shop locally and making cardboard boxes big enough for these suckers and mailing them down to you guys for easily double what I paid. I think I made
shit.
$30-something $1,000 in Lego that year, profit. It was amazing. So I was kind of hooked on the whole business thing, and I hadn't really built a set yet. So that's how I came into the hobby.
That's even funnier. You didn't even build a set. You were just you just realized people were willing. And I mean, but now let's be realistic. If it was 30,000 Canadians, that's like $4 American,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It wasn't that much money.
I mean, it really doesn't. The exchange rate is not good for you guys.
I think if you look up though in 1999, I think it might have been the opposite, because there's been a few times in our past where I made more money. You know what I mean? It was flipped. So I'm not sure about when that was, but
I can't argue with you there. There has been a few times. And look,
Yeah.
folks, as we're going through this, if you're interested in what Jen's got going on, you can check out thebrickchick.com. Let me know. If anybody out there that's watching right now, if you ever had a set of Legos, what was your favorite Lego set? I'd always be curious of that. So you're realizing this, you caught the attention of the Lego folks and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Um,
that was 10 years later because
okay.
like I worked before when we were in the green room or whatever you call it on this thing.
Yes.
We were talking about Bricklink very briefly, and
Yes.
that's where I sold. I started on eBay, and then I moved to Bricklink because someone who was a fan of mine said this is where you need to be. It's all Lego, and so I moved there and quickly became the largest parts store in Canada
Oh
on
wow.
that platform. So, and I actually morphed into being the Lego ambassador for Bricklink, the first one that they had.
Really?
Yeah, about 10 years in, though, I got really bored. I like to invent things and make systems, and I had kind of, this thing was locked down and it was just a grind at that point. And I just was really bored. So I started to travel to see what my customers were doing with this stuff because I had no idea. I'm like, I don't understand why you need 43 purple bricks. I don't get it. So I started going out to these fan conventions, and I also was not allowed to make money. Okay, it was the weirdest thing. My ex needed me to have a job to justify being a stay-at-home mom, but the family accountant didn't want me to make money because it was a good write-off against his big fat income. Yeah, it's no wonder he lost his license somewhere around the way. But so I wasn't allowed to
Must have
make
been a
money.
lawyer. Lawyer.
No, it was an accountant guy that was a little shit.
Oh,
This is way,
gotcha.
this is the 90s, or no, 2000s. But
Worked for
anyway,
Enron.
I was not allowed to make money, so I was earning too much with the little business, so I kept buying stuff. So travel was a good way to burn off extra cash.
Yeah.
So I started going to all these events and quickly kind of moved up in the rankings because they saw me more often, right? And that's where the sort of jealousy thing came in, I think, and I got outed as not a builder, so not really important. And why are you here? So I started building. So I made the one thing, and that caught the attention of the owner. Yeah.
See, I think the not a builder thing is very interesting to me because, like, the what we talk about it on here often. The budget blinds, I own those. Those are my budget blinds.
Yeah.
I sell window treatments. I don't build window treatments. That would be
Mhm.
like somebody saying to me, like, "What do you know about window treatments? You don't build them." And I would be like, I, "I sell them and put them in windows, but I don't build them." That just seems so odd to me. That's such a like you're not one of us. And
Yeah,
I
like,
think
you
I
gotta
think
go
I
back
think
in
listen,
time.
I think as nerds we're the worst on the planet for that.
Yeah,
There
I'd agree with you, but
we're the worst gatekeepers in the world.
but they can't look at themselves yet, Sean.
No, listen.
Hey, but
It,
it stems back to the old days of this where it was really hard to find your people.
yes,
Like the internet was not in the 90s. I mean, come on, there wasn't much going on. And so they worked really hard and really like came together to form these events, and they were pretty special to them, and no one respected them. Their families made them feel like crap. They didn't have anyone in their local area, so this was all like on Lugnet and on these news boards and so on. And so when someone new comes in, I did not have colorful hair back then, I must say, but when someone new comes in and all they're doing is selling stuff to you, there was a little bit of hate going on, a little bit of shade. And that's because for me to do what I do to sell pieces to people, I have to make a little bit of money because
right.
it has to be worthwhile. So there was a sentiment back in the day with the OG fans that we were ripping people off, that like, selling something that should be 3 cents if you take all the pieces in the set and divide it out by that number. Why are you selling it for $3? You're ripping us off. And it was pretty brutal, actually. That was an education. I did not know that until I started traveling to these events. And I'm like, wow, do they have any idea the amount of time it takes? Like the time sucked to divide up all these sets, create an inventory system, like log that inventory system into a janky site like Bricklink. It's gotten a little bit better, but back in the day, holy crap, it was terrible. then you can order. Oh, and if you're Canadian, yeah, we're not going to collect sales tax for you. Yeah, your shipping's way more expensive than the US. Like there's so many things that were like against. Like I had to eat a lot of costs, so I couldn't compete. And like the amount of time that it takes to do that, the only reason I could do it is because I was a stay-at-home mom who wasn't allowed to make money. You know?
That's wild. But I get but I get all this because like as you're saying this, as a small business owner, I get every single thing you say. Like
right?
like people see they see the check you received and they go, "Oh, that's $1 million. That's you made $1 million," and you're like, wait a sec. Do you understand that of this, there about 40% of that, just what you're looking at, is just going to buy the product.
Yep.
Now I got to pay the person who sold the product. Now I got to pay the person who installed the product. Now I got to pay for all the insurances and everything else. So that big giant number that you saw,
yeah,
I get about $19 out of it.
Exactly.
It's all said and done. And they're like, and people get like, what? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you even do this? Well,
yeah, why would we?
It's because I don't have to answer to nobody else. And
ding, ding, ding.
I don't answer to anybody else. And if tomorrow I went, I'm not working.
Yeah.
Now my employees would be like, hey, boss, like, would you mind coming in and making sure that the house doesn't burn down? Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're going to be like, I don't give two shits. So I get it. I get it completely. But it's so funny. Any type of nerd culture, we are the biggest gatekeepers. And it's also funny what you're saying with the lack of internet. Something that came to mind to me is I think about my hobbies. I love comic books. I've just recently got back into Magic the Gathering. And I also like to go to the range and shoot and hunt. They're not supposed to go together.
I was going to say, like, and I didn't know there was like nerdy blind people. That's interesting.
Yeah, you should be my brother. He can't see a thing. He's completely blind. But it's the reality. Like, I think one of the things you just hit the nail on the head is back in the day, somebody who could have been into going to the range and shooting and all that might have enjoyed these other things, but there was nowhere where they could go and kind of meet other people because they would have been like, because if they told their buddies at the range, like, hey man, I can't make it this weekend to the long shoot. I'm going to build some Legos. They'd have been like, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be a man.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting. So after you got back into the building and everything, I know you said you built those 3 items and they kind of accepted you in the culture, but
I mean, I'm not sure that I was ever accepted. They just stopped complaining about that one thing because they couldn't say much. The first thing won an award and got the attention of the owner. The second thing won an award and got the attention of the owner because I took it to Denmark and he saw it again. The third thing, I'm like, I'm tired of building. So what I did was there was a thing called the Dark Ages where the teenagers that, kind of start looking at girls at that point in time or whatever, kind of fall away from the hobby. But there are some that don't. They're still really in it, and the adults don't want to play with them. So I started.
That's called creepy.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I started the world's first teen Lego user group. And so I had some teenagers that were really passionate fans. And so I designed something that they could build as a big thing. So my third build wasn't really mine. I just did it for them. So that they could participate in something at these events where they were pretty much kept out of the fun. But then that's all I've ever built. I don't build.
Nothing.
Nah, right. I build in my head. I do all kinds of things that way, but I enjoy building businesses. That's
I love that. So, and I tell people all the time, there's nothing more fun on this show to me. Super, super crazy people. I love them. But talking to entrepreneurs and people who build businesses are so much fun. But I do have to ask you this sidebar question real quick. Because you said you like Star Wars.
Yes.
Because I hate all the new movies.
I do too.
I have really no interest. I'm going to probably still watch it, the new thing with Darth Maul.
I can't keep it straight. I'm too old for that.
But how bad, I know how bad I want to see it. Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be all right.
Would that be worth it? Can they just kind of stop with Obi-Wan Kenobi and all that? Can we go? Like, can we go back to can we do Knights of the Old Republic? You can just you could reset the whole franchise just by doing Knights of the Old Republic and being like, hey, here's some characters nobody knows anything about, nobody's ever heard of, and this is kind of the birth of the Sith. And let's just have fun with this. How
It's
great would
funny
that be?
that Lego kind of killed my joy on Star Wars in general. At the beginning, it was really exciting to have like all the sets, and I was like, "Oh, this is so amazing!" But if you know anything about the product, and of course the length of time I've been in the community, they just keep churning out new versions of the same old
Same
things,
old shit. Yeah.
and it gets so boring. And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I'm not even a Star Wars fan anymore, practically, because I'm just like so over it." But yeah,
Now you know what I do like about Lego? If you're into any of the movies, like
Mhm,
the Marvel movies and the Star Wars movies,
mhm,
the move has actually become to go and see what Lego sets are coming out,
mhm.
and then you already know the characters that are going to be
Spoilers.
in the movie.
Yeah,
It is Lego is the world's greatest spoiler.
yeah. Well, I do have to have, I have a little Star Wars kind of thing that happened to me with Lego that
What's
I'm
that?
quite grateful for. So, I was traveling around to all these events and I didn't build. So I just volunteer most of the time. And the company caught on to that pretty quick. And so started inviting me to events so that I would volunteer. And I volunteered at Star Wars Celebration 5, I think, in Orlando. And I was helping my friend Mark, who works for the company, put together this big, like, mystery mosaic. It was when they first created these mystery mosaic things, and it was of a big wampa, I think, which was the theme that year. George Lucas put the last piece in, so I got to meet him. That was cool. Yeah, he's a crutchy guy, but it was cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I dig stuff like that. So you say you like to build businesses. What else, other business have you built besides this Lego deal here?
My first business was when I turned 19. I lived in Woolwich Township in Ontario, Canada. And Woolwich was Woolwich, right? And I'd always been called a witch by my mother, sometimes with the B.
Oh, fair
Um,
enough. Okay.
yeah, so I kind of leaned into that, and I made a business called The Wool Witch. It's still on my Costco card, I kid you not. And so it was like a witch at a spinning wheel, and I was knitting sweaters for the farmers market and got like venture capital support from the bank for that, and like went to town. So that was my
What?
first business. And so now, as you fast forward like X number of millions of years later, because I'm 58 now, I have a new business called Salty Stitch Witch. So a witch again, but salty because I live on the ocean and I might have a sense of humor that might be a little salty. And so that is my branch of the business that is devoted to embroidery, making patches, bags, all kinds of things. Anything that's wearable is in my Salty Stitch Witch brand.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, yeah. But I got tons of other ideas that I cannot tell you because you might steal them.
Oh, I don't worry about it. I won't. Z Z, who's another Marine, he's been on the show. He says he had Magic used to sponsor his events. Which event? Z, you've written 700 books, have done everything under the sun besides being a Marine. So you'll have to tell me which event they were sponsoring. And he said he had cases, still has some unopened boxes. Will you tell me what you want for those unopened boxes, Z, and you can send them my way. I'll send you a little bit of scratch here, brother. We have my son's got back into it. My son was like, "Dad, do you know anything about Magic?" I was like, "Son, I was playing this in 1996 on a boat in the middle of the Adriatic.
Yeah,
I know a little, that's it, but it's been years, and now he's like, he's fully immersed. Like he's like,
it's cool.
we should buy more cards." I'm like, "Yeah, kid. Like you want me to buy more cards so you can open them. I don't try to bullshit a bullshitter."
Yeah.
But I see. I love that you're like super into like all this. What was it when you finally realized? Like, did you ever have a normal 9 to 5
Did you just say the word normal and in conjunction with me?
with
No, no,
with 9 to 5? I did
I'm
with
kidding.
yeah.
I did. It didn't go very well. After the Woolwich thing happened, I decided to go back to school because I'd flunked out of university because that was not my jam. And so I went back for fashion because I might like making stuff, not because I like fashion at all. So I did a fashion degree thing and won awards and did really well, and then turned down all the job offers, which was funny. And where was I going with this again? We were talking about whatchamacallit.
So nine to
Remind me.
five. You're nine.
Nine
You're
to five,
nine to
nine
five.
to five. So after that, I took a job with a tailor designing clothes for him and didn't like it. And then I decided to go and work at a carpet mill, a very toxic environment on many levels, designing like commercial carpets. So I was on the factory floor up to the boardroom. So the best part of the job was learning to use this massive garage-sized tufting machine that was a sample tufter that had no instructions. So you just had to figure it out. But it was just such a horrible environment. And I did not thrive. That's as close to a 9 to 5 that I got, other than retail.
Well, because I was curious about that because a lot of times I hear these stories from other entrepreneurs who are like, I was in the corporate world for 20 years and and they've got these crazy stories where they got into different programs and realized that that wasn't the world for them. And, they had missed this market. And then there's folks like yourself who are like, yeah, I tried it one time. It sucked. I need to make money for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done it. And I'm always impressed by that. Cause like I said, 20 years in the Marine Corps, 8 years on the railroad, another 2 years as a business development director before I ever went off on my own. And I'm always just so impressed by people who just jump into it with both feet. Which honestly, I got to ask this question though. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know the Canadian if you guys have a version of this or not, or how your education system works up there. I mean, just imagine get a degree in maple syrup or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm always curious. Like down here, you know, I can put a kid into $150,000 in debt just like that
It's
for an
crazy.
with an education that they'll never be able to pay off and they'll
Mm.
never be able to use because reality of it is because you got a $150,000 degree to become a veterinary technician that will
Yeah.
never pay more than $25 an hour.
Yeah.
You're a genius. But I'm curious, what your feelings are on the other side of that. Should they give to the next, wagon wheel witch or what was it? Woolward witch?
Woolwich or
That's it.
salty stitch witch.
Salty ditch witch, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But to the next one, should there be a version of that where no, here's $150,000 to start a business?
Yeah, but what parent does that? What parent
Not a
trusts?
parent. I'm talking about a bank
Oh, okay. Yeah, they should.
because
They definitely.
a bank will back an education that
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
no value
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, the loan that I got way back in the day when I was 19 was only because I had an inheritance that was going to come due. And so they knew they could get it out of my hide if I screwed up. Like, I mean, there was only 10K I asked for, but in the 80s, that's quite a lot of money,
Yeah, yeah.
even in Canadian money. But yeah, no, it's interesting. We're not taught like practical things growing up. Like I don't know how to handle money. I as a neurodiverse person, I have dyscalculia or whatever. I can't even say the word.
Discount calculator. That's okay.
Discount calculator. So yeah, I like that. I'm going to say that from now on.
I have discount
I think
calculator.
numbers good. It's like number dyslexia, and like to run a business and have like no aptitude for numbers is very interesting choices.
Oh,
Like,
that's got to be great when your accountant's like, so let's go over your numbers, Jen. And you're like, I like ham sandwiches. Like this is not going to work out for anyone in this conversation.
oh, I tell
But
you.
that's interesting to me. I mean, so what are some of the do you get ever and people coming to you like, hey Jen, I've known you for this amount of time. I'm looking to start a business or you want to go in on a venture with me. Do you ever get those kind of folks?
No, and I would shop him for a partner for a lot of years actually because of the things that I'm not so good at. And it's really like I've just had a big business pivot in the last few months.
What do you
But
mean?
that has well, I had to get rid of husband number two, which you saw the little video of.
Oh, okay.
And so that
Steve?
meant
Sorry,
yeah,
Steve.
yeah. So that meant like starting again, like starting all over. And I was in first very intimidated by that, and then realized, oh shit, I can do all the things I wanted to do from the beginning. But now I don't have to answer to anyone. I'm no compromise and no permission to spend money or anything. It's been life changing. So I've made a lot of decisions that probably wouldn't work for other people, but they sure work for me. And it's really, really taken a load off myself. So I feel in a very powerful position now with the business, and I haven't felt that way since 1999.
Were you partying like it's 1999?
Yes, that's it.
And,
That's why.
and and you would love Z. So Z is like you. Z is like one of these guys who
But
always
he's
in the oh,
here. He can't even talk to me right. It's Z and Z, and like
no, it
that's
was,
an identity crisis.
well, not Zed. It's Z. It's he
It's
was
Z. I'm Canadian.
Gunny Bennett. Uh, Magic, DreamWorks. He had Defense Soap and other sponsors for his events. On car, I'll shoot you something, brother. But and he says you're a very interesting guest. I have two black cats. I just would like you to know.
See,
And
I'm a
my
little
one,
have
and
black cat. I have two as well. This one's
but
the codependent one.
I listen. I have that. My codependent one has a white tuxedo, has a white preacher's collar,
Yep.
right in the middle of his neck. And I promise you, he must be upstairs with my wife right now because he likes to crawl across the entire room, and then climb over. And look, Z even called you. See that? Good for you, young lady. So I mean, but I do. So what's next for you then? I mean, I love hearing people on these adventures and these business ventures. I mean, well, let me ask this before I ask what's next.
Yeah.
What were some of, obviously you said husband number one had a weirdo accountant who didn't want you to make money,
Hmm.
and husband number two locked you under the steps or whatever was going
Yeah.
on, whatever was going on there. But, what were some of like the real challenges from a business standpoint when you went into doing this more often and becoming the brick chick? What were some of the things that you were like, I didn't know that this was going to be a problem?
Lots of things actually, and a few things come to mind right off the bat, and that is that I can't buy Lego for any cheaper than you buy it. In fact, up here it's a lot more expensive than you can get it down there. I have to buy full retail, just like everybody else. Lego does not play with the little guys. That's why they have their own stores. So brick and mortar for them is like if you got a franchise that's pretty substantial, maybe you can get a limited amount of stuff if you have a little independent toy store. But if something's really popular, your orders get chewed down to the nub and you don't get what you expect. So you can really kind of lose a lot of money that way. But I don't have brick and mortar, so I'm just buying like you do. And that was really difficult because it's a little bit hard to scale when that kind of thing happens. But that was in the days where I was just buying Lego sets, dividing them up, and selling the pieces as is. I moved into customization because that changed the game. That meant that, the little 3-cent piece is now like $1 piece. And there's a lot more margin in what I can do. And then I get to be creative because I only make things that make me laugh. Like I got a lot of little jokes on my stuff and it passes the time and it tickles me. And as well, I go to shows, like I sell in person as much as possible because I feel like in this world, people are buying from people. Like they're
Yes.
kind of tired of buying from big faceless corporations. So like I want to interact with my people. And my big goal, and this is going to happen. You wait for it, Sean. I'll come see you with it. I'm going to get a Sprinter van and I'm going to get an X-Tool UV printer and I'm going to take this little cat and his sister on the road and just go to shows and make shit for them right on the spot. Like that's the
That's
goal.
awesome.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
I
That's
see. Well, maybe you can talk to my wife. Who I bought her a nice 3D printer for Christmas, and
yes.
she set it up, kinda,
Uh-huh.
and then has yet to ever run it. I'm like,
Oh, 3D printers are awesome. I UV print stuff onto the Lego, but I have a little print farm of 3D printers as well because they marry so nicely with the UV printing. I make my jigs that way. I just like to tinker. I've got lasers in my basement. I got sewing machines upstairs. Like I've got almost 3,000 square feet of maker stuff, and then my little single bed in my tiny kitchen. That's it. So yeah,
wait a sec. Did you say your bed's in your kitchen?
no, print it
Oh,
should be because then I'd have more room. I could do more
oh,
things in my bedroom there. Yeah, that would be good.
all
But
right.
no, I filled this whole house up because I don't have to answer to anyone. I don't have a husband or anyone to interfere. So I'm just doing what I want to do now.
Why is Steve $150?
Well, Lego did a thing where certain people in the company could order these minifigures, these business card minifigures, and they were quite popular, as you can imagine, because it's like that's a cool thing. So when I started working for him, I said, "Why don't you have any of these minifigures?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know. I think they're kind of stupid."
Oh, so
So,
Steve literally worked for Lego.
oh yeah, yeah. So
Oh, I
he,
missed that.
yeah,
I wasn't picking up that like.
that's his Lego business card. So I made him order those. And then we got married and he quit right after they arrived. So they were like brand new in a box, just kicking around here. And when he stopped paying bills like 2.5 years ago, he hasn't had a job in a really long time. So I've been supporting his ass for a million years, it feels like, and supporting myself too. And it's like I hit a wall. I hit a wall like right now I have not paid my mortgage or my rent today like I should on April Fools because I only just paid it 2 days ago after scraping by to like get last month's done. So I was in jeopardy. So I'm trying to sell these damn figures because he owes me like so much money. It's crazy. So why should I sell his ass online?
All right, folks. You need to go to the brickchick.com. Go ahead and get you a Steve Lego. Let's see if we can get anybody to go out and like buy some of these Steve Legos and then like show me different ways in which you've like blown up. Thank you, and blown up a Steve Lego, and like it could be an entire thing where like you strap it to like a bottle rocket and shoot it off, like to commemorate the moon launch here. I think it's tonight. Tonight's the moon launch. Like
that's like the full moon too. Wow, that's crazy. So
yes, have you been watching that at all? Like,
no, you know what?
I am news up there.
I've made it's not news in my house. I've honestly made it a pact that I'm not going to watch any negativity. So that means I pretty much can't watch television.
Well, that's not negative at all. This is like the first moon launch, U.S. moon launch since the 70s, and they're actually going to go completely around the dark side of the moon.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. If I didn't get exposed to all the other stuff I refused to get exposed to, I would have been on top of that. But
that's pretty cool. And Z said, wow, we just got a 3D printer. Cool. My son has made several things. I have now learned a few things about Lego. Listen, Z, you could be making your own Legos of you. Like 3D print some of you Legos.
Oh yeah, you can 3D print a lot of Lego.
And like some of your geese or something like that. And you, like she said, they were Lego business cards.
Yep.
I remember years ago when I first got on recruiting duty in the Marine Corps, that was one of the big things was like if you had the money, was try to make your own memorable business card because it's so like business cards get thrown into a box. I had a high school principal one.
Yeah, mine are on a little tiny brick, a 1x2 brick, and people don't throw them away. They think it's funny. It's got a QR code on the back that I print there, and they can go right to the website. Why not?
See, I think that's perfect. Mm-hmm. But so then, because we're getting ready here soon, what's some of the things that well, let's do this part first here before we get into that because I got a pretty in-depth question. So let me get my. This is just about dun dun dun.
That sounds honest.
Need a new April Fool's ad.
Oh no!
Listen, like this is the great part. You talk about chat. I get chat to do all my ads for me.
Oh, heavily. Yeah.
I'm a pretty like. I know everybody's like, do you know how much water it takes to do these? I'm like, listen, I got it. It's draining the water. Water turns into vapor. Vapor turns into rain. The shit's coming back. Relax. It's not going anywhere. At least that's how I justify it. All right, here we go, folks. We're done making whiskey. Big announcement from our friends at New Scotland Spirits. They've officially decided to stop making whiskey. Yeah, you're switching over to flavors water. Kombucha said nobody wants bold, handcrafted, small batch whiskey anymore. All right, relax. It's an April Fool's. New Scotland Spirits isn't going anywhere, and neither is this bold, smooth, locally crafted whiskey made right here in upstate New York. No gimmicks, no nonsense, just the kind of pour that actually delivers. Head to New Scotland Spirits, grab a bottle because good whiskey is no joke. New Scotland Spirits, still making damn good whiskey, no fooling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was even better, Jen. You added a at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So now we talked a little bit about, hey, people coming around, things that you've learned. For a new entrepreneur that's just, I don't care if they've worked for 20 years or they work for 2 days.
Mhm.
If you were setting this roadmap up for yourself today with what you know, what are some of the things that you would say to yourself, like, okay, before you get too far down this road, let's go ahead and put these couple of items in place. It's going to make your life easier.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When I left my ex, I delved deeply into how I think, and different ways, neurological things about myself to understand where my shortcomings came from. I did my IQ, which was very surprising. Apparently, I'm not stupid after all.
Yeah,
Anyway,
most people aren't.
so I did a lot of really soul searching of where I have strengths and what sucks my energy dry. And so I've supported myself and mitigated for most of those things that just don't they just flatline me. And that has made a really big difference. The other thing is, as a neurodiverse person, I would often not be well supported by the people that either I hired or had in my circle or even in my family. And I just always kind of let that ride. And now I don't. I'm just like that good news thing. Now, if I'm not getting if they're not reflecting back to me what I'm giving to them, or the energy isn't the same, we're not matching energy, you are so deprioritized in my life. And I'm waiting and looking always for the people that actually want to meet me where I am. And that has made a huge difference. So that could be which accountant you choose. For me, it was my marketing people. They're freaking amazing. And my PR team too. They just get me, and they never shut down my crazy ideas, because my ideas are gold. And my whole life, like,
My ideas are gold. Just ask me, I'll tell you.
oh, they're gold. You just wait. Anyways,
Uh,
so yeah, so that was really important stuff. That changed. That was life changing for me. That now I can have a business meeting and not feel like I have to apologize for everything, even outside of the already apologetic Canadian bullshit. So yeah, no, that's been really good. And the other big thing for me, and I've said this on a few other PR things I've done recently, but I now celebrate my differences. Those are actually what makes me special for what I do. They're my superpowers. And leaning into those and actually really exploiting those in some ways has made things go a lot better for me. And in this world, you got to be in a niche anyway. So why not go with a niche that goes with you? And honestly, it doesn't matter how weird you are. There's other weirdos in this world. You're going to find your people. Just be brave about it. Go out there with it and just make it happen. It shouldn't be all about making money. It should be about making yourself happy. And lately, I'm really happy. You can tell my cats are happy too. So that's something. Yeah, this is new even for the damn cat. In the former household, this didn't happen. Now he's super chill and crazy.
he feels the relaxed vibe
Yeah,
around you and everything.
I use my cats to regulate my nervous system, and I really try not to overwork myself. I think this hustle that we're all in, this crazy kill yourself workaholic thing, needs to change. And because I'm disabled in multiple ways, I'm not going to live much longer if I do things the way I used to do them. So yeah, it's important. If I got happy cats, then I must be doing something right. So I look to them. Yeah.
Z says good for you. I think I like that advice of find people that meet you where you're at. But now let me ask this question now, and I'm going to challenge that statement though. And I love the idea of finding people that meet you where you're at. But then what's your feeling on people who meet you where you're at but challenge you to be better?
I'm fine with that. But I find there are people that do it in a way that shuts me down, and there are people
What do
that
you
do
mean?
it in a way to celebrate me.
What do you mean?
Well, I find there's a lot of judgment. Okay, I'm going to go into the patriarchy a little bit here, but I'm a very effervescent person, and I have kind of a juvenile sort of way about me. Maybe you've noticed. I don't know. April Fools should be my day. So I often am underestimated, but I'm not stupid, and I know what I'm talking about. And so often I have to spend so much energy to convince someone of what I know is right, only to have them flip the script later when I'm proven right, and like make it like it was gaslighty their idea in the first place. Like it wasn't a huge battle to get the thing done that I knew had to be done. And that is just like just such a horrible place to be in. So that describes both my husbands, but a lot of other people in industry as well. The dealer that I bought my printer from, big example of that. This, did not want to sell to me because I'm not an industrial person with a warehouse and all the rest of it. There's a lot of gatekeeping in this world. And yeah, I've come
How do
up
you
a
think
lot.
that I'm always mind boggled by gatekeeping. I honestly and truthfully am. And I think it boggles my mind because, and Z would probably agree with me here. In the Marine Corps, we train everybody to be at the next level above them. So if you're a sergeant, I'm training you to be a staff sergeant to be a gunnery sergeant, because I don't want you to, because by the time you get to your next job, I
Yeah.
expect that you already know it. So I never gatekeep anything. And
No.
it's interesting as we were kind of talking about this. That was one of the biggest problems I had getting out and dealing with civilians was I really had somebody come to me and go, "Listen, man, you might know everything and you might have learned very well. Act like you don't know anything. Let people tell you stuff and go, oh, all right, man. I really appreciate you showing that to me, even though you already knew it, because then they'll say great and positive things about you because like somehow they taught you some shit."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, if you do that, you'll go leaps and bounds because everybody will say all these nice things about you, and even though you already knew it beforehand, because they'd be
Yeah.
like, well, I taught that guy that.
Yeah. A
That
little,
was
a
a real
little
thing.
a little twist that sort of occurred to me when you said that was like I personally believe that if you're good at doing something, if you fail to teach other people how to do that, whether it's in industry or the military or whatever, then you're really not in a good place in your life, because
Mhm.
like that's the point. What's the point of being really good at something? What, so you can sit in your house and make shit and sell it for money? No, it's about community, and it's about sharing and learning from other people. I had my marketing guy give me like the most brilliant solve to something I wanted to do. My farmer friend up the island gave me another brilliant solve on something that I wanted to do, because I talked to him about it, and I said, "Hey, this is how I do this. How would you do this?" I mean, it's about conversation. And I personally, like, I've started to do all this PR stuff so that I can get ready to teach people what I do. I'd be happy if everybody got themselves a UV printer and started printing on Lego or whatever they want, because it's fun to make stuff. I
I
just need
agree.
money to pay my bills. That's it. I'm not looking to get rich on this. I just want to be a happy person. So
I love it.
if it means like people want to learn to do what I do, heck yeah, I'll tell anyone how to do it.
See, I
I'm not
love
in
that.
a competition.
I love
That's
it.
just a low vibration kind of thing. That's a West Coast thing for you.
Is that low vibe? And Z says she wants people who are positively supportive with truth
That,
and respect.
yep, yep. And a
Good.
lot of people in this community taught me what I'm doing. When I was looking to it, my current UV printer, whom I call Roxy, is $40,000. She's a pretty significant investment, and I'm still paying for her. But I couldn't buy her without being pretty sure of what to do, because again, the gatekeeping with the Roland company meant that I really couldn't get honest advice. So I tapped my network, and there were several people who were excellent about telling me what to do. Now, they may have said so thinking I would never in a million years jump in
Right.
and do shit. So maybe there was a bit of chagrin there, but I could not have scaled the way I have and moved into this area without the help from my community.
That's awesome. I love even hearing that. Um, any ideas for your next next laser printed thing? You like can I get like an above the bar podcast printed thing on there?
Of course
Like
you can.
that. Listen, you know what though? Thinking about that for a moment, just
Yeah.
thinking about that I joke about myself. Nobody's buying that shit but
Mm.
me. But you know what? I bet you if you reached out to podcasts and were like, "Hey, I can make,
Yeah.
I can print your logo for shows,
Yeah, the
bands."
design your own Lego section of my website is down right now because Roxy, the $40,000 printer, needs some help. So right now it's not on, but normally that's what happens. You can go in, design your own piece, You can upload artwork if you want to. There are some restrictions in the fair play policy with Lego. They don't want you to put like logos onto minifigures, but I'm not sure how to police that. I wouldn't necessarily know what a logo is, like, so
I'm tracking.
yeah. So I basically, like, I've got the disclaimer on there, but essentially you design your own stuff. Right now that section of the website is locked, but it should be coming online very soon, I hope.
Well,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, folks, if you take the moment and go to the brickchick.com, real quick, Z says, listen 3 or 4 times more than you speak. Most hear but don't listen. And I'm over on the brickchick.com right now. There's like an Alberta flag, that which I find interesting. Are they gonna? Listen, my buddy has the. Is it Alberta? Is that the next one over from you guys in
It's
BC?
kind of in the middle. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
next one.
So that's where a friend of mine, Jeff lives. Are
Yeah.
they going to succeed? Are they going to succeed?
I grew up in Alberta. Like, I was born in Saskatchewan, but I grew up in Alberta. And back when I was a kid, they wanted to leave then too.
like he was explaining this all to me. I just saw him in Vegas in February, and he was like, Murph, like, I didn't realize that really all of Canada's like income comes from Alberta.
Well, they do have the oil. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's all Alberta. Like it's like Alberta feeds the wealth to the rest of the country. I was very surprised about that. So,
but they're very susceptible to being romanced by a country south of us. So there is like sort of a little coercive control happening there. I'm just
hey.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about it. They could be
right.
51. They could be 51. Listen, we can listen. They're in Alberta. They like their guns in Alberta too.
They do.
Yeah. But I'm on the site, and I recommend everybody just take a moment and check it out. Baby duck sparkling wine bottles.
There's American money on there too. You can find your own dollars.
Some best Bijou Pinot Noir, beer can.
Most of the things have joke names because I don't want to get in trouble with the IP police.
Like Blockweiser.
It's parody.
I was looking for Moosehead, and then I saw Boozehead.
Boozehead. That was a good one.
This is great. Like, and again, folks, if you're into that world or you know somebody that likes the whole Lego stuff and it really gets into it, this would be a great way to kind of throw something together for them. It's a very niche kind of gift, a little bit different. Look, they have crayons on here for all the Marines out there. You could build an entire Marine with crayons, since they keep this whole new thing about crayon eaters.
What?
But you've never heard that? That's like a whole thing with Marines now, where it started probably like 10, 15 years ago, just as I was getting out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Where I grew up in the generation of Jarhead associated with Jughead from the Archie comics.
Yeah.
And then probably about 10, 15 years ago at least, this whole crayon eater thing, like they're so dumb they eat crayons.
Oh my gosh.
This whole crayon eater thing started, and you could definitely play into that. But I mean, you got some cool stuff on here. The iPhone,
products
all the Mandalorian stuff in here. I Heart USA coffee mugs, Monster Energy drink, Moostar. Yep. I like that Moostar.
Yeah.
Would you like the Moostar? Would you like a Moostar energy drink?
Yes. And the M on that is 3 brick separators. Like, there's some little Easter eggs on all of the designs. I try to make it as Lego as possible. So they're fun. That's the fun I have now. Instead of just reselling basic Lego parts, I get to like decorate them the way that I think is amusing.
Prescription pill bottle.
Yeah.
She could do a bottle of goobers. Do you have goobers in Canada?
No, we don't. But I have on my design list like a massive list of all the candy that I'm going to do. I love doing the food stuff. It's the best. I'm so behind. I tried to get a little bit of everything so that most of the bases were sort of covered. And it does skew a little bit heavy to Canadians right now. But there is so much more coming. There's so much more.
But do you know what goobers are?
Yes. Yeah. They're like, whatchamacallit, colored candy.
Whatever.
No. What are they then? I thought they were like a jawbreaker.
No. Goobers is a jar that has both peanut butter and jelly in the same jar.
Oh, okay. I can do those. That sounds fun.
When I was a kid,
yeah.
Z said medical and cannabis.
Yeah, got those.
They're in there. But yeah, when I was a kid, like that was the greatest thing. Like mom would buy the jar of goobers, and it was actually like as soon as you like made your sandwiches, it was already mixed together and everything. You didn't get that. Like I'm not a big jelly fan. I like strawberry jelly, but I don't like it when the jellies kind of like mix up. So.
Yeah.
But look, folks, we're getting ready to close things up here right now. If you're finding me through Jen or Jen through me, make sure you're giving a like, share, follow. You can find her, the Brick Chick. She's on Instagram as the Brick Chick. TikTok is the Brick Chick. So you can find her in those locations. Again, like, share, follow. It might sound cliche, but it really does make a difference in all of our lives. That's how people find us. It's how the algorithm works. I know Z is going to go out there and find you and give a follow. Maybe he'll start. Oh, look at that, Bolt instead of Jolt. He's gonna make all. I used to love Jolt Cola.
I know,
Make
right?
all those things happen. I have two things for you before we get done. Let's start with, because Nate didn't pop up today. What is the most Canadian meal you eat?
Canadian meal. I like me a poutine. I really do. I do. Yeah. Every so often. It's so
I do
good.
like poutine. I like poutine. Well, I grew up in Baltimore and we eat gravy fries,
Yeah.
but we don't have the cheese.
You need squeaky cheese and that's it. Yeah.
And then as soon as I had squeaky cheese on there, but I liked Montreal, the smoked meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really good.
It was smoked meat. And so now before we end this whole thing here, and don't log off on me afterwards, we got to talk for just a minute here. The guest always gets, huh?
I'm stuck under a cat. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. The guest always gets the final word. So what's our final word tonight, Jen?
If you are interested in working for yourself and need a little side hustle, just look at where you are different from everyone else and see if there's an opportunity there. Lean into that difference because that's your secret superpower.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in.
This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.